Bem-vindos! Eu sou Toamatoa, membro dos Frenzy Beasts. Estamos aqui de volta com Detetive Grimoire. Ora bem, temos que interrogar o último suspeito. Oi?
You
O que é que
again.
ela quer?
Ready with some cryptic advice, no doubt?
Don't let them take him.
Who? The murderer? That's my job. I gotta make sure that they...
No, the creature. Don't take him away. This place is his home.
Oh,
Ok,
Boggy.
parece que ela
Hey,
conhece.
don't worry. I didn't really believe he could be, responsible for this mess.
You didn't?
Well, no. I don't believe he could ever hurt anyone.
So, he won't get in trouble? He won't have to leave?
Well, he's been out here for what, 60 years, hasn't he? And stayed out of trouble for that long. I have a feeling some detective isn't going to change all that in one day.
Well, in that case, he says... Thank you.
Ora bem, onde é que ele estava? Estava aqui. Vou falar com ela. Challenge.
I heard you've been spending less time protesting recently and more time, in your tent. Normally I wouldn't pry, but it's my job to
I'm
ask...
touched people have even noticed something like that. I usually get the impression everyone else is doing their best to ignore me.
So, you admit it's true?
You can put your notebook away. There isn't really any reason for it. Nothing worth writing down, at least.
Well, if it's not worth writing down, maybe it's worth hearing.
In that case, you'd forget it.
How do you know? Maybe it would echo in my mind.
Oh!
Look, if you take a guess and get it right, I promise not to deny it.
Let's work out why Echo was hidden away in his tent. Notebook time.
Deixa eu ver.
You've been in your tent because it's been raining!
Why not?
Só um bocado
I
de
heard
tempo.
you've been spending less time and...
Vamos avançar.
Let's work out why... Notebook time.
Bog.
You've been in your tent!
Ah, isso não interessa.
You
Vamos
come
falar
here
com
every
ela,
day.
Zé.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm only gonna ask you about one of those days. What were you doing yesterday evening?
I was here at my protest spot until fairly late. Then I went to get something to eat at Harper's Cafe before I...
Wait, you ate at the cafe here? Doesn't supporting the tourist attraction like that kind of go against your protest?
A man has to eat, doesn't he? I don't think the meager
suspeito,
contributions of
foi
one
lá.
person are going to keep this place afloat. Especially now.
And you're sleeping here? Doesn't it get cold at night?
Well, I came prepared, of course. I usually find myself with 1 or 2 extra layers to wear. Most of this bulk is padding, I promise you.
I'm sure it is. So you stayed here the whole night?
That's right. And I admit I may have heard some stranger than usual sounds floating around the swamp last night.
What kind of sounds?
It's impossible to say. This place fills with the most terrifying sounds at night. Hundreds of animals, some tiny, some much larger, awaken and make their own protests. Every night until the sun rises in the morning.
Insects make noises at night. Okay, I've written it down.
Sim, como se fosse muito importante. Richard
So
Remington.
what did Mr. Remington think of you? I mean, protesting in the middle of a swamp every day.
It wasn't his swamp. If he ever truly thought it was, then he was even more of a fool than he seemed.
But he didn't like you hanging around, right?
That man was exceptionally skilled at ignoring me, ignoring anything he
bravo.
didn't like.
So, what, he just left you alone?
He expected me to get bored and go home. He figured I'd get sick of this place and he'd have it back to himself.
But he didn't want it to himself, did he? He wanted lots of people to come visit all the time, surely.
I'm sure it says that in the brochure. Yes.
Não, nós já sabemos que ele queria estar sozinho. Porque capturou. Ora bem, vamos ficar Apresentar.
I'm afraid I have.
Nada.
Show it to somebody.
Nada.
I'm afraid show it to... No thanks, mate. This is the one that man left here 60 years ago?
You seem a little unsure of the details. Shouldn't you have read up on all this stuff?
Forgive me. It's hard for me to get the image of Boggy as the lovable cartoon character out of my mind. He's just
Oh,
so
ele conhece como
iconic.
cartão.
Did you know, in 1973, he...
But you're protesting to protect the real swamp creature. The cartoon character is just some commercial byproduct, right?
Yes, of course.
Muito suspeito.
I'm afraid...
Mar.
Shoot. No thanks. I'm afraid... Shoot. Why are you carrying that around with you?
I have a suspicion it may have been the murder weapon.
Really? I thought Remington was attacked by something with claws, wasn't he? No thanks, mate. I'm afraid...
What?
You're not a bad detective.
Well, I found the photo in Remington's office.
Ooh.
It was ripped up, though. I think he was some kind
He
of...
was a lot of things. Don't lose that picture. And show it to Mr. Harper before you leave. Show it to... Okay. I'm afraid...
Ok, não vi mais a foto.
You're asking...
Estou a ver.
I...
Ei,
You know him?
ele conhece.
We get on rather well. And we shared a number of views on the way things will run around here.
Quer dizer que ele tinha acesso ao lockpick.
Boggy is my prime suspect, you know. The creature you're trying to protect.
Protect is the wrong word. If your suspicions were correct, we could both agree he's a creature that doesn't need protecting.
You think he might be the murderer?
I think he's a wild animal, and he wants to be left alone at any cost.
Ficar a fazer isto
A man
tudo.
who has sacrificed luxuries to protect those who need protecting. Pretty good beard, too. He seems like a good person. He even sympathizes with my cause.
He agrees with your protest? But he works here, right? And he was friends with Remington.
I think that was the only reason he worked here. Maybe he'll see the light now and leave the swamp behind him. Maybe everyone will. I have no...
Ok, não tens nada
We're
a
asking the wrong
dizer.
person. The murder victim.
Since last night, yeah. But he was the owner of Boggy's Bog. Did you know him?
Not personally. To be honest, I'm quite glad about it.
Ok, está feito.
I think it's time I went to talk to Officer James.
Capítulo 4. O início do fim. Ok, deixa eu cá ver isto. Falta-nos Notas.
Looks
Ficar a procurar para ter 100 tudo.
I'm impressed.
Ei! Já consegui.
It's a piece.
Fiz do código. Ok, voltamos para isso depois. Não digo mais nada. Já vou falar.
I'm sorry. What is it? I'm sorry. Try showing me. What is it? I'm sorry. What is it?
That's the...
Before he got ill and rushed back to his office?
That's right.
This is going down in my notebook. It might be important.
Ok.
I'm sorry. What is it? I'm sorry. What is it?
Ok,
I really don't. You have some. Try showing me some. I really don't.
ok, está feito. Vamos ver.
You want to look at I definitely have time to look at items. You'll be getting better. You want? I definitely. You'll be. You want to know? I definitely.
Ok.
You'll be. You want? I definitely. You'll be. I definitely. You'll be. I'm busy. I see it. I'm busy. I see it.
Ok. Aqui está tudo. Está. Já fizemos. Agora ficamos tudo.
It's a
Hey.
copyright MC. That'll be 19. 1930, 1934?
1930. Peraí, deixa eu tentar isso no outro cadeado.
I'm impressed. And
Vai ter que ser assim. 1934. E voilà!
it's a journal. Bad news. I don't know what to do. They'll shut this place down,
Okay.
sure, but that's always. It's a journal. Bad news.
Ok.
There. It's a.
Tem mais nada? Nos falta ali uma coisa, não sei o que é.
It's.
Ok? Aqui está tudo.
Hey,
Volta com ela e vai fazer tudo.
I have no idea what this.
Yes, I think so.
The water is really clear back there. The legs of this thing are reflected in the bottom half of the photo. It's a nice shot, actually.
A reflection? Oh, yeah, of course. A reflection in the water.
Where are you keeping all this? Is that on your...
I always thought it was weird that his feet are in that little bucket all the time.
It's just part of the character, I guess. I'm surprised they don't sell some sort of boggy foot soaker.
And that would be the one product I'd consider buying. Where are you?
Continuar.
I can draw.
Can you show me?
There's no time.
Ah, uma sequela.
Is that one of your clues?
I have no... Where are you keeping... Is that on your...
That is not something from my gift shop.
Ok.
I've never seen it before.
Where are you... Is that on... Am I...
Her.
Fiz.
I don't know why she still works here, to be honest. One murder is one murder too many.
I really... Is that me? I was just... Is that you? I really... Is that me?
I think the cartoon character is kind of dumb.
What
Okay.
about the real creature?
I've never met him.
Me neither.
He made sure I always got paid, so I can't say anything bad about him.
You can if you like. He won't hear you.
We should have more
E...
respect for the dead.
I know.
Ok, está tudo. Primeiro, fizemos. Tudo. E tudo. Ok, não há mais nada.
Brass.
Oi,
There's a little locked door on the side of. I think it's part of the cat.
Ok.
I recognize some of those men. Unfortunately, they've hunted in the swamp before.
Before it became a protected area?
Before that, yes. And one of them after that.
O rei então.
If you bring me... You can put that... He drew me into his journal. I was 20 years old. That's the end of the story.
I bet it's not. Does this explorer have a name?
Yes?
Are you going to tell me?
No.
Pois.
She just doesn't. I'm not. You should ask.
Está tudo da parte dela. E a parte. Temos ele. Vamos fazer. Começa a mão. Está tudo. Ok.
A good example of how Boggy's feet are never shown in any form. They often use that little red bucket to hide them.
Sim.
Vamos faltar Is that the missing page of the journal?
I
Yep.
think so.
It's an important artifact. It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, you're not wearing the right hat to be saying that.
Well, this design is some bizarre hybrid between the real creature and the cartoon character. I've never seen.
Ok, agora a
So,
foto.
I wonder who else knows about it.
Ok, está tudo também. Acho que deixamos todos. Aqui vamos cá ver aqui os suspeitos. Ou então, peraí. cá ver aqui.
Not suspicious.
Suspeito. Não é ela.
Not suspicious.
Não.
Not suspicious.
Ok.
Not suspicious.
Não é o.
Not suspicious.
Não foi ele que matou. Também não é o Boggy.
Not suspicious. Not suspicious.
Também não é ela.
Not suspicious. Not suspicious.
So,
Não é
Not suspicious.
este.
Not suspicious. Not suspicious.
Não vai
Not suspicious.
Não é o
Not
ar.
suspicious.
É o eco. Quase que aposto.
Ah,
Acho que é 99%. Não sei onde é que está a última prova. Deixa-me. Ok, vou acabar este episódio aqui. Espero que tenham gostado. Não se esqueçam de subscrever e deixar um like. Até à próxima.